I covered an Eagles song, "Those Shoes," and it reminded me of uh, something I completely forgot about, and it, it's like one of those. It's a neat story. I'll try to be brief, but I'll take you. That man, it's like a Homer Simpson story or something. Let me take you to the year 1977. I think it was 76, maybe 77. Uh, I think it was in the late 70s. Let's say that in Greensboro, North Carolina, and I just loved. Who didn't love the Eagles uh, in that era? You know, they were like the ultimate rock stars. So I went to see the Eagles concert, and at the main mixing console before the show, I started talking to the guy running the mixer. He's a real nice guy, you know. And for the first time in a concert, it's like he was really helpful and friendly with information and stuff. And we talked for like an hour before the show. I'd come early, you know, and I never forgot him. His name is Alan Blazik. Blaze. I'll get back to that. But it was really cool, and that was one of the best concerts I've ever seen. The Eagles with Joe Walsh. The sound far better than the album. So years later, when I moved to LA, I was picking up some stuff at Guitar Center, and it when you own a studio, you know, you got to go pick stuff up, and it was close by, and so I dropped by Guitar Center, and another friend of mine, a guy named Mark Galvo, was working there, and he always sold me my stuff anyway. He pointed at another salesman. He said, "Hey, come over here and meet Eric. You know, he owns E-Zone Studio and Zone 3 and stuff, you know." So I did, and he goes, "Oh yeah, this is Blaze, man, Alan Blazik, and he engineered the Eagles stuff, Hotel California, you know." And I go, "Oh, well, that's cool." But the thing with Blaze, he's a cool guy, you know, that he got better, and we became friends. That's what was so weird, because I go, "Oh man, you're that guy that was running the sound at the live Eagles show, you know, in Greensboro." And he actually remembered it, you know. He goes, "Yes, I remember that. We talked for like an hour, man." He goes, "Yeah, you know." And anyway, so, but that Eagles song reminded me of it because um, he, over the years, I got to know him pretty well, and he taught me a lot of stuff, you know. And I could ask him, like, "Well, how'd you do this?" And then usually when I look somebody up on the net, you know, like that. I mean, Blaze, we used to say about him, and he got clean and sober and everything. He was in the middle of it, getting clean and sober at that time, you know. But we used to say about him, he didn't live life in the fast lane. He lived life in the oncoming lane, you know. I mean, I love that saying, you know. He lived life in the oncoming lane. And he had some rough patches. I knew him for a long time, you know, pretty well, actually. And it was just neat, but so anyway, you know, every time I look somebody up like that, they're dead. This is the first time somebody's been alive. But I mean, and I not only alive but thriving. I just looked. He's got credits for Melissa Etheridge, Rick Derringer, Jay Giles. You know, he's doing some good stuff. The Eagles again and again. Glenn Frey, Don Henley, all these guys. You know, which they're past their prime, and in LA, they're sort of, especially one of them I won't mention, is sort of in and out of a lot of studios and stiffs the studio for money, you know. So it's you know, it's neat. It's good for him though. But yeah, I mean, he was like voted most likely to, you know, be found face down in his own sick, you know. But that was cool. That was one thing that made me doing that Eagles song, and I learned it actually directly from Blaze. Just a lot of stuff, you know, about how those great records were made. I said, but I figured I'd find him dead. I figured, well, I might as well look at Blaze's obituary. You know, he's still alive. But yeah, I got to know him last time. I saw him. He had actually gotten healthy and taken up freaking roller skating and up and down the street. It was weird, you know. And but he was looking better and better. He was in a real rough patch for a while. But anyway, then the very last time I saw him, he was well dressed and doing good. So, I mean, because it doesn't always turn out that way. You know, the Guns N' Roses guys, Wes Arkeen, I think he wrote all the songs in the first Guns N' Roses album. He left my house. I had gotten clean and sober, and I knew Wes pretty well, and I talked him into going to rehab. He was a heroin addict. You know, he left my house, and he died. He left my house to go to rehab at sort of my urging and behest, you know, and he died like within a few weeks after that, you know. So it doesn't always turn out happily, but I'm glad. His name's Alan Blazik, and yeah, cool guy. I'm so surprised Blaze is still alive because he's the only one so far, you know, that I've looked up of guys that I've known and worked with and hung out with and that taught me a lot of stuff, you know. He was always a neat guy, but even it was so weird because I met him in the late 70s at an Eagles concert, and he was just such a nice guy. So I'm so happy that yeah, that Eagles song, Those Shoes, reminded me of that, you know. The remix is better. It's on the Billy Bob Kickerilla Cash Jr. site. If they don't, lately YouTube, everything I upload, they've been either rejecting it or blocking it and shit. Or I mean, you know, we'll see. But I'm gonna probably do another one on recording and stuff. And oh, I forgot speakers and speaker placement and use and just stuff like that later on or something. I'm real tired. I've been up mixing all night and tracking and stuff. But yeah, I just want to talk about Blaze a little bit. He's such a cool guy. He's life in the oncoming lane, not the fast lane. But he engineered tons of stuff, you know. And it's just such a small world. But it was so weird because in the late 70s I met him, and then like 10, 15 years later I met him again, and he remembered talking to me, which is crazy. But some of the stories they told about, that's why I did that video, Those Shoes, about coke and women and the seduction of money, and the songs about that, but the videos pretty, you know, I forget how they're saying stuff about it on my site, like strong or racy or something, I don't know. But anyway, so that was a neat little deal. I'm really happy. It's the first time I've looked for somebody from that kind of crowd and found him alive. But he will not die, Blaze. So that's very cool. But I was surprised at all the album credits he's amassed as producer, man. And he's good too, you know. So that's that. Vlog number 1. Disengage the vlog. I gotta get some sleep. This vlog, poltergeist ending. This vlog is clear.